All right. So this is a response to an attack from the right, claiming the Democrats support open borders. The questioner asks, we're heading into a period of declining birth rates, and we have a retiree-heavy population as the boomers age. Have you considered a guest worker program or some other effort to open our borders up to our neighbors and allies, given that immigration is a standard solution to labor shortages? We'll begin with Gloria.
I believe the right needs to stop demonizing immigration. We were at the Spring Creek and No Good Bob Good basically demonized all immigrants. Basically, he suggested that they're ruining America. So for starters, we need to stop demonizing immigrants because we need them. We're not producing enough human beings to fuel America manufacturing. So therefore, we need to figure out, stop using it as a political pawn and use technology to manage the process better, hire more resources, and process them quicker. Maybe even give them work permits versus H-1B visas because it takes a long time, and get them out of the country sooner. I was watching Secretary Mayorkas on David Bernstein's show, and he said it takes 7 years to process an asylum case. So they get 7 years to hang out in America, not pay taxes, and then they figure out, oops, you don't fit the criteria, you're out. And it was all in the Border Act that stalled out, either in the Senate, I know for certain in the House of Representatives. So we've got to fix it. And they had a solution, 90 days. That if we would have passed that Border Act, 90-day turnaround, the person would have been validated in or sent out of the country. So we need to fix it.
This is an interesting one. I have a Republican friend who started the same thing about, we need to send them back. And so I told him, guess what? I am a physically conservative person, but I'm socially progressive. How about this? And I think Gloria just hit on it, that birth rates are low. What country is the single greatest threat to our economy? It's China. If we want to be able to compete against China, we need manufacturing jobs. But we can't do that when we have 3.4, 3.5% unemployment. So how do we solve that? Immigration. We need to be able to bring these folks in and solve the problems with asylum seekers. Instead of waiting 7 years, let's make them taxpayers. Put them in a status where they can be taxpayers and they pay into the system. The second thing is Social Security. We know that Social Security will be insolvent. I think it was in 2034, 2035. We bring these folks in, make them, give them jobs, then these taxpayers actually pay into our Social Security system. So this country is built on immigration. To deny folks the opportunity to become citizens in a timely manner, we're only hurting ourselves. We're only hurting ourselves. So.
Well, it's a very simple thing. The first thing we need to do is fix the visa process. It's cumbersome, and we have the fewest number of visas right now than we have at any time in our history, and that's a truism. And I'm not talking just from the Central South America and the triangle down there. I'm talking about across the board. We don't even let Europeans in or anything like that anymore because the numbers are so low. And so we got to go back and overhaul that system. And H-1B, the agricultural ones, and the H-2B, I read an article, some people just stop doing it because it's so burdensome to get it through the system. It should be literally a one-page thing you do online, and you request a visa for whomever you're trying to sponsor and get them in here. We're in 2024, 21st century. We need to make sure that we have access to the databases of the countries where these people are coming from, so that when we process them at the border, whatever border it is, that we have almost instantaneous access to the records, and we know who's coming in and who's coming, and who we're going to let stay. It's a very simple thing to do, But Bob Good and his lot have victimized and turned this into something that's not. He called it an invasion the other day, and he said 12 million have come across the border in the last year. Well, that was a flat out lie. I went back and researched it. It was 2.5 million last year. Is that still too many? Probably yes. But it's not 12 million. So if the rhetoric is ramped up and they're going to keep weaponizing it, and we need to take that weapon out of their hand and beat them with it so that they stop doing what they're doing.